Welcome to the History Lord. You join us here in the lovely Kensington Gardens, and today we're going to tell you all about this wonderful royal park, one of the 8 royal parks in London, another one of our series about that particular aspect of London. So let's have a look at the story of Kensington Gardens. Welcome to London. The setting of Kensington Palace, with magnificent trees and gardens, and the choice of William III and Mary II for their London home. Queen Victoria was born at Kensington Palace, and she lived there until she became Queen in 1839. It was Queen Caroline, wife of George II, who in about 1728 modelled the gardens into their present form by creating the Serpentine and the Long Water out of the Westbourne River. For most of the 18th century, the gardens were closed to the public, and they truly were a royal park. But over the years, they were gradually reopened to us mere mortals. It was Queen Victoria who commissioned the Italian gardens and the Albert Memorial. There's another video about the Albert Memorial elsewhere on the channel. One of the best features of the garden is another video we've done, and that's a bronze statue of Peter Pan. It's a charming piece and stands on a pedestal 14 feet high with climbing squirrels, rabbits and other animals. A more modern feature is the Diana, Princess of Wales Memorial Playground, and that is right by the Elfin Oak, which is an old 900-year oak that started its life off as a stump in Richmond Park. There's another video about that elsewhere on the channel. Outside Kensington Palace is another statue of Queen Victoria that was sculpted by her daughter Princess Louise. It's there to celebrate her mother's Golden Jubilee in 1887. For well over 100 years, the gardens were actually part of Hyde Park, a huge deer chase and deer hunting ground that were purchased by Henry VIII. And it was in 1689 the new King and the Queen, William and Mary, took their first steps to creating a separate park. Nottingham House was purchased on the western edge of Hyde Park, and it was renamed Kensington Palace, and it became their main London residence. Queen Mary began to create the palace garden into a formal flower bed and boxed hedges. The style was Dutch and designed to make William, who came from Holland, a little bit more at home. It was actually in 1702 the gardens got slightly bigger. Queen Anne added about 30 acres. She also added an orangery. Now at the time, the diarist John Evelyn described the gardens as very delicious, and it was on September the 2nd, 1705 that he wrote in his diary, "I was able to take the air as far as Kensington, where I also saw that house and the plantation about it, to my great admiration and refreshment." It was Queen Caroline who made the biggest changes from 1728 onwards. She was the wife of George II, and she began to transform the gardens into the park we see today. She took another 300 acres from Hyde Park, and the chap she employed was Charles Bridgeman, who produced a new design for her. The focus of the garden was to be the palace and the round pond that Bridgeman dug in front of it. There are avenues of trees radiating from the pond like spokes on a wheel. Each avenue gives a different perspective of the palace itself. And as the vistas change, you can catch glimpses of classical buildings such as the Queen's Temple. It was Bridgeman who also dammed the River Westbourne to create the natural-looking lake that we call the Long Water. The gardens were open on Saturday mornings to anyone who was respectably dressed, and the Broad Walk, the main path, became as fashionable as St James's Mall. But as we all know, fashions are fickle, and it was in 1837 Kensington Gardens lost its spot in the limelight when Queen Victoria decided to move to the new court at Buckingham Palace. So there you have it. That is a brief story of Kensington Gardens. Thank you very much for watching. We do hope you enjoy these videos, and if you do, please subscribe. If you want to know when videos are uploaded, there is a notification bell just down below. And if you want to see what we do outside of these videos, please go to historylord.co.uk and see about a walking tour of London, or have a look down below and see about James's YouTube channel called Last Line Films. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you very soon. Take care.